ready for fan-driven Razorback talk. For the fans, by the fans. This is Inside the Hog Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton. Welcome in to an all-new episode of Inside the Hog Pen. I am your host, Razorback Zach, from the Central Arkansas Hog Pen. Joined, as always, by my great band of misfits, the Three Amigos, whatever you want to call them. From the NEA, Marcus MC Carlton, and from the NWA, Sarah, coming in clutch, by the way, Sarah Swish Vogel. What's going on, y'all?
Tag team, back again.
Yes, sir! Sarah, how are you doing? Yep, you are lagging.
I'm lagging like this computer right now.
Like our old offense from the Mississippi State game, shall we?
Whew,
But we are not talking about that. Because guess what? For the first time in program history, Arkansas travels to the swamp and beats Florida in overtime. 39-36 for the first time in program history and for their first SEC win of the season. So we might just pull this one out, fellas and ladies, Sarah. But
I'm a fella.
We'll get to that later. We got a couple things to take care of first. Leave us a review, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, whatever you want to be on. Sarah doesn't know anything about MySpace. We'll explain that one later. Leave us a review. Leave us a 5-star review. Please don't leave us 4 stars. We don't like 4 stars. But tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, and we will definitely attempt to work on it. All right, so next thing, before we get to our bacon bit segment, if I can get my computer to quit going crazy here. In honor, we had a request this week, guys, that one of our loyal fans had something good happen to them and something bad happen to them. The good thing is, we want to congratulate, see if I can get this up here, congratulate Krista and Brad Staten on 24 years of marriage. Brad's been one of our loyal fans from day one, and his advice for anybody that wants a long marriage out there, it's a lot of chloroform and duct tape. So
And a whole lot of yes, dear. Yes,
Yep.
honey.
Yep. Absolutely. So congratulations, you two. The bad thing that happened to him, though, my Army Black Knights defeated the Air Force 23-3.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with his Air Force, man. They cost me a 3-game parlay. Two-thirds of my parlay hit, and the one that didn't was Air Force. So Brad and my brother-in-law also. I got to give my brother-in-law crap over that too. So,
but we want to congratulate them. They are some of our biggest fans. Been with us since day one. All right, now we get to the nitty-gritty stuff. Then we get to the fun stuff that y'all are here for. Bacon bits. I got 3 of them today. So 2 basketball, 1 soccer, because I looked for football and could not find it anywhere. There was nothing good about it. Put it like that. There was nothing interesting.
first win in the swamp. We'll take that. And
First
that'll
win in
have
the
to be
swamp.
it.
Why not? So basketball. Arkansas has won 49 straight home openers dating back to 1974, 1975. This is your second one. Arkansas is 30-0 in Bud Walton Arena for home openers. 30-0. Muss is perfect in
30.
home openers.
I'm sorry. I just 30 years of Bud Walton Arena just doesn't compute with me because I mean I vividly remember the first game against Murray State in Bud Walton Arena, and the fact that was 30 years ago just blows my mind.
You feel old yet?
Every day. There's something every day that makes me feel
I'm
old.
sitting here thinking like, where'd y'all play before Bud Walton? And then I'm
Barn-
like, oh, in Barnhill?
Barnhill.
Barnhill.
That's like playing games inside of Barton Coliseum down here and then moving to Alltel Arena.
Careful now. Barnhill was royalty, man. Barnhill.
No.
was-
That's what I mean, seating
Yeah.
equivalent. Seating equivalent.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was like 9,000 people, I think, was the capacity at Barnhill.
I thought it was less than that. But I mean,
It's less than 10. I know that.
It's
less
right
than
under
10.
10, I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wrong. I've been doing that a lot lately. Last one, soccer, in honor of them making the NCAA tournament. Since 2019, the Hogs are 22-10-5 on the road and have beaten 4 ranked teams. How about that?
That's the hailstorm, man.
How about that? I like that, hailstorm. All
I
right.
completely stole that from Razorback social media. So
Nice. All right. So tonight, we got a lot to cover. Razorback basketball has officially underway, and these two, oh my God, y'all should have seen the oh wow. That's all I'm gonna say. We tried out our version of the Manning cast. Unfortunately, it did not work. So
technology did not play nice.
we're gonna
Technology
figure out
went
another way.
full Dan Enos on us.
Yeah.
Lagged.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. We're gonna talk Razorback football. Looking forward to Auburn. We'll talk Alcorn State victory and a whole bunch of other mess. Plus, at the end of the show, I have a very special message to all of our veterans for this weekend. But that's on the other side of the break. You're listening to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back in 60 seconds. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback Zach, Marcus, MC Carlton, and at the bottom of your screen, coming in clutch, Sarah Swish Vogel. All right, so I know we all three discussed that we're not going to talk football anymore this season, but it's kind of a big deal when football goes down to the swamp after being 0-5, not only winning, but winning in overtime at that.
There was so much, beyond the surface of this game. You had the 6-game losing streak. You had the 0 for life in the swamp. And then you had all the changes going on with the offensive side of the ball. And I mean, on top of that, I mean, the opening drive offense looked, to have changed the way they changed the offense in about a week and a half, you would have thought they'd been running this all year long. So it kind of feeds to what Pittman and some of the other coaches were saying about, hey, we actually ran in the game what we ran in practice, because it looked like these guys were just, it was smooth. It was on it. The only bad thing that happened in that opening drive was you lost Ty Washington for the year.
That hurt too.
The same injury as Luke Haas.
His is different. Ty's was dislocated shoulder.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought he broke it.
Yeah, I thought he had a broken clavicle.
No, someone said it was a dislocated shoulder, but I never should have turned on the TV because I went into work trying to get the TV to work, and we went 14-0. And then when I finally got it to work, we weren't 14-0.
Well, and here's the thing: before we jump over to the Hog Wild Live fan feedback, here's the thing: how big was that missed field goal? Was it a field goal or extra point by Cam Little?
Field goal, 50 yarder.
50, yeah.
Because if you look at the score, that's the difference.
Yeah.
We still won. He's bound to miss. He's bound to miss one. He's kept the team alive all season. So
he is still in the record books. He is still quickly becoming, if not already, an Arkansas legend.
He's built up enough credit over
yeah.
the course of the year that he can afford to miss one. I mean, he still won me a prop bet, so there's that.
The kid's outstanding. I'm not going to take anything away from that. Plus, I got to eat crow here in a little bit. So, but let's jump over to the Hog Wild live fan feedback. Chris Faraci, first up, says first show after a football W in a while. Woo, damn pig. John Codwell's in the house. Says, what's up, Razorback Zach? John. Hey, John. Picture of us jumped into my memories yesterday or today. Got to meet John about a year or so ago. Really, really cool dude. Sam Jones. Old Kenny G may not be smooth on the sacks, but he damn sure prevents the sacks. Off to a great start as potential OC. I'm surprised I got that one out in one piece. That's
well played, Sam.
That is well. That's why he's called the pun.
There you go.
Love the show since day one. Thanks, John. Of course, our producer, Loki DeWitt, says, I understood that reference. And then Mama Linda's in the house. Good evening, my Razorback buddies. After last week's win, I am convinced Eno should have been gone after the BYU game. And this is going to be a fun and exciting basketball season.
Preach, Mama Linda, preach.
Loki, don't be getting any ideas. Marriage advice brought to you by ITHP. And then I was waiting for this comment. Brad Staten's in the house. Says, I knew you couldn't let that go. Air Force stunk it up this time around. Thanks, Zach. Hey, man, thank you. And go Army. We got the Army-Navy game coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm excited.
That's always a good one. No matter what the records are, that's one that like everybody watches.
Right. So getting back to this, we saw vast improvements. Now here's where I'm going to eat my crow. All right, and I'll dab a little A1 on it. Yes, for those of you that were tracking my Twitter and my Facebook, I wanted KJ and Rocket benched. But here's why. Here, let me defend my stance before y'all start forcing crow down my throat.
I'm not saying a word.
At no point did I want them benched because they sucked. It's a mental recheck, okay? It's a mental restart for these guys, all right? That's why. I mean, my perfect example is Jalen Hurts, national title game 18 in the fourth quarter. Benched his starting – Nick Saban benched his starting quarterback for a freshman.
We just should have benched Enos. Yeah. We should have benched Enos before season started.
But here's the thing.
There would have been no benching KJ.
And you brought up a very good point, Sarah. MC and I were talking before pre-show. And MC, you said it. You said, we knew things were bad up there.
Yeah.
We didn't know they were this bad to make this much of a turnaround in 2 weeks.
I knew it was bad.
You remove one coach from the offensive side of the ball. And even offensive line still had some struggles during the game, but I have to, for as much hell as I have given the offensive line this year, when it got down late in the game, fourth quarter and overtime, they really stepped up and they were providing some good holes for Sanders and for KJ, both to run through, especially there towards the end. KJ had that run that was the big 20-yard run in overtime. You've got 1st and 20. And KJ lines up and just completely flattens a linebacker who got in his way.
That right there is the KJ that I have been waiting to see. See, letting truck somebody.
Did y'all see the video after the game though of his relationship with Kenny?
Yeah,
you ain't never seen that with Enos. Never seen that with Pinos.
You didn't see that.
Name. It's Dan P. Enos, so it's Pinos in my book.
From the half-court stripe.
And she's shooting from Steph Curry range now, man.
I'm wearing my Warrior shirt too.
Oh, there you go.
So
but no, that video. I mean, that tells me right there.
Volumes.
Yes,
I told y'all for 3 weeks now that's what was going to happen. He stays if they hire Kenny because of their relationship. He stays 1,000%.
So Frank,
put my name on it right now. Remember this. Hit the button that saves this moment.
Yeah,
we're gonna
mark this. This is gonna be a reel later on.
Yep. Frank Sanford comments on one of our other pages that we share this to. Says too little, too late for football. A change should have been earlier. Still love my Hogs, win or lose. And I mean, you still have you still have an opportunity to get to a bowl game. Remember, Arkansas was 6-6 going into the Liberty Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Pittman has gotten at least 7 wins in 3 years straight, mind you. Okay. Been to a bowl game every year since he's been here. And yes, I'm even counting the COVID year because TCU.
Well, I mean, technically they had a bowl invite, and the bowl ended up getting canceled because TCU had a COVID outbreak.
I think they were just
well. I mean, that's what's officially out there. That's why the bowl was canceled.
We didn't have a COVID outbreak, but that's for another time.
Yeah,
never mind. We're not going to go there. But I mean, here's the thing, and this is where I'm going to eat the other half helping of my crow. MC, you're going to have to mark this one too, dude. I was wrong.
Oh.
I was.
Wait, that's unusual.
I unfortunately, kind of, sort of, maybe. I was wrong. I was wrong about Rocket because towards the end of the game, when he first got in, he looked a little rough.
Yeah. He had some rust. He had a little bit of rust.
Rocket. I was wrong about Rocket. We still have issues on the offensive line, and I'm still all aboard the fire Cody Kennedy train.
Yeah, I think you still have to make that change unless, and I think I said this in one of the previous shows, unless there is a Jesus walking on water type miracle performed with the offensive line, and they suddenly become consistent. And I just saw on Twitter just a few minutes before we went on air that one of the guys that's been starting all year is doubtful for Auburn now.
Yeah,
I have to find it. Patrick, I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, and Tykees will be outside. I think they said Tykees was replacing him, Crawford.
Yes.
I'm going to throw this up here. Go ahead, Sarah.
My question is where the knee management went. Is his knee just golden? Because he just came out in the first.
It's been managed.
That's why I said half helping and not a full helping of Crow.
It must have been managed by Dan Enos because it went out the window with him.
Did I not say it right after the Mississippi State game? I said, watch, Dan Enos is now fired. Rocket's going to magically be healed and run, have 100 yards in a game.
Well, and I mean, he did.
He didn't even have the most yards, did he? Didn't the other? Oh, y'all first.
Yeah.
No,
well,
he did. Yeah.
It's between him and I don't know how much KJ had, but
what didn't the one guy have? Was it maybe he was a defensive player? Someone had 100-something yards rushing, maybe.
Oh, we had Armstrong had 100 yards receiving.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's who I'm thinking of.
But we did have a total of 100 yards on the ground.
So for the first time all season, we had a 100-yard rusher, we had a 100-yard receiver, and seems like there was one other thing that happened for the first time this year. Oh, we had total yardage above 350. That was
an actual touchdown in the red zone.
Yeah,
400. A touchdown in the red zone.
A touchdown in the red zone too. There was another one. Yeah,
that's unheard of.
So here's the thing, and y'all are going to come after me for this. All right. Yes, Kenny Guyton turned this offense around. Okay. Does it carry forward? Everybody says sign him to a lifetime contract, lock him down, do what you have to do. Here's the thing: it's only one game. Be realistic. I'm not a negative Nancy, okay?
Right.
But you got to be realistic in this. Now, if he comes down, if it comes down, and we're expecting to Missouri to be the end all be all on whether or not we're bowl eligible, and he comes out and calls a hell of a game and we win, I say hire the dude as OC.
I think if you win out and you get bowl eligibility, which would include beating a top 20 Missouri team, because as much as I hate to admit it, Missouri's playing really good football right now. Yeah. Drink I tip my hat to the guy. I can't stand him, but you tip your hat to the guy because he's got it rolling. But if you upset them to get bowl eligibility and then get you, a trip to, I mean, you're probably going to end up at like Birmingham or, the the who cares, this is before Christmas.com bowl or whatever. But if you get to that bowl game this year, I mean, if your offense is coming in and let's just say you average 400 plus for the rest of the season,
yeah,
you got to hire the guy. You got to.
You can't entertain anybody else. Well, I mean, you can do it as a formality,
right?
But you got to hire Kenny G. If
Yeah.
we went out and we averaged 480 yards a game,
even if you average 400, you know, if you get back to where you're having a 100-yard rusher every game, I mean, the leading rusher, I heard this on one of the shows out of Northwest Arkansas earlier this week, and prior to this Florida game, the leading rusher in a single game up to this point was like 54, 55 yards. And then Rocket comes in and has about 105, 110 in this one game. I mean, it's just, and there was balance. I mean, you weren't run heavy, you weren't pass heavy. It was balanced. 480 yards.
Finally balanced.
Yeah.
Sarah, you look like you're sitting there saying, "Yeah, well, I told you so."
Yeah.
Well, I have an answer to the question on the screen because Enos was actually at a bar in an Arkansas sweatshirt watching the Florida game.
No, he wasn't.
No.
There's pictures on Facebook of it, of a guy sitting at a bar, like, look at who I'm having a beer with, and he's got like a obsidian gray like pullover with the Arkansas logo.
Wow.
It would be the gray, right? It would be the gray.
It was the dark gray. I'm about to look for it now because
wow.
So keep the comments coming, guys. I'm gonna try to get to all of them as best we can. I'm a little slow, so if MC, Sarah, if y'all see one that y'all want to pinpoint, let me know.
I'm sorry. I'm still hung up on the whole Dan Eno sitting in a bar watching the ball game.
Right? But I'm just,
I wish it was in the Facebook like Hawg group, and I literally was at work and had to go to the back room to laugh at it.
To put it all into perspective, Loki, I'm just gonna leave this here. That took a weird turn, didn't it?
Yeah, just gonna leave it right there.
All right, let's go down here and see what we got. Yeah, the offensive line. Who gave that comment?
I saw that one too. I was trying
to
get
D-Matt from the Man Caves in the house tonight says, I think the O-line feast on a KB style offense. I will say this: KJ looked a hell of a lot more comfortable back there than he has the first 8.
And you also saw a lot more of KJ rolling out. I mean, go back and look at the first play of the game. First play of the game was almost a trick play because you had AJ Green line up and take the snap at quarterback and then pitch it over to KJ. And then the pass down to, I think it was to Ty Washington for about 25 yards on the first play.
You know, you made a very good point in pre-show when we were having our pre-show meeting, MC. Said, we could come out against Auburn and just completely blow them away.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could come out against Auburn and completely lay an egg.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I have no idea what to expect out of this game.
So my question is, before we move on to Auburn, is can the Hogs actually make a bowl game? Can they do it?
Can you ask me again next week?
Sure.
Mathematically, yes.
I mean, if you look at ESPN's FPI winning percentage probability against the rest of the teams that we play, it went up.
They've got more faith than I do right now. I'll say that.
It jumped from the Mississippi State game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tremendously. And I think they've got the Missouri game, I think, is at like 44% right now.
Go ahead, MC.
Well, I was just going to say, it will help that one's in Fayetteville because for whatever reason, we forget how to football when we go to Missouri and play it at Farrat Field or Rotten Field, whatever it's called. The one where the end zone is all rocks.
Right, which is dumber than dirt. But hey, who am I to judge? They think they've got the basketball palace of the SEC. Have y'all seen that?
No. I did. Hey, okay, so hold up. Since we're in trash Mizzou mode here, I got to ask y'all a quick question, and I think both of y'all know the answer to this. Do y'all know the correct abbreviation for the state of Arkansas?
AR.
Yes, AR. So
Is this a trick question?
no,
I feel like this is going somewhere that
it's.
set up.
I'll try to pull this up in the break so I can put it on screen. But so early signing period today, Mizzou signed a kid out of Little Rock, one of the biggest basketball recruits they've ever had.
They put AK, didn't they?
They put
did.
Little Rock AK. I mean, is that not the most Mizzou thing ever?
And you, Mizzou.
It's on ESPN
Hard.
sometimes.
Oh,
It's
I know.
on ESPN sometimes. It's all the time. People cannot figure it out. And it's not like it's not on Google.
So we're gonna jump ahead. We're gonna put a bow on Florida, and this is the moment you guys need to take screenshots, write it down. This is all the information you're gonna need for the game, so nobody can ask, "Where can I watch the game? What game's the channel on? Where's this?" Arkansas, 3-6 overall, takes on Auburn back inside of Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, 3 p.m. on the SEC Network. Of course, Auburn's coming in with a 5-4 record. However, as of 3 o'clock this afternoon, Arkansas was a 2.5-point favorite. When was the last time we were favored in a game?
Kent State, BYU, maybe.
I think we were for BYU.
Yeah.
So
we might have been for that one.
Garrett Ray put in a question. It says, "How do we feel about Auburn? OT or end of regulation win?"
I don't think it'll be OT.
I think it'll either be a close game till the end, or we're blown out by halftime.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
That's fair. But I will go as far to say if we win in overtime, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Because
I don't care how we win. I don't care if we win.
Any win is a good win.
Yeah, exactly. Any win's a good win. But
especially when you're 4-5.
if you're in overtime, that means your team didn't quit, and they didn't quit last week in overtime either.
That's true. Yeah.
As long as the team fights and we win, why the hell would I care how it ends?
Exactly. I just keep winning. Just put this one in front of you, get that win, and then you focus on the next one. I mean, you are literally, and I know this sounds like coach speak, but you are literally, the only thing important to you is what is exactly right in front of you. You can't be looking ahead to Mizzou. You can't be looking ahead to FIU, whatever. You've got to get this one.
And if we get this one, FIU, Missouri. Now, Loki asks the question, says, regardless of turnaround, if we don't make a bowl game, does Pitt stay? Yes.
Yeah, I think he's safe.
At least another year, at least.
Another. But
I don't necessarily agree with him being safe, because I'm having a hard time swallowing in year 4 bringing back a coach that, if they don't make a bowl game, he's going to be sub 500. You're sub 500 in year 4. I have a hard time swallowing that and bringing back a coach.
Well, but at the same time, and yes, somebody posted in the comments that it does still fall on Pittman regardless.
Absolutely.
Because he is the head coach. But and again, like I said, it's only one game, and I could once again come out here next week and eat more crow. But you got to start to wonder, is that record because of the O coordinator not essentially doing his job?
Yeah, I mean, maybe things were not as tight between those two as we were led to believe, because, one of the first things that Pittman said in the postgame was pretty much a shot at Enos, because he said, we ran in the game what we practiced all week.
Mm-hmm.
And that it had been said that what was being run in practice and what was being run in the games were two completely different playbooks. And
you could tell that.
Yeah. But my question is, again, I take it back to Pittman, because you're the boss hog. You're the man in the big chair. And at what point do you get on the headset and just say, hey, what the heck is going on? Why are we not running what we ran in practice?
But he even said that, though. He even said in one of his press conferences that he at one point he was like, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah. I just feel like it took him a little too long to get to that point.
Yeah. Don Hudson says, even if we win out, who in the staff goes? Cody Kennedy.
Kennedy's got to go.
Kennedy's got to go.
Kennedy's got to go. I think you do whatever you can to keep your defensive staff intact.
Yes.
I think who's in charge of special teams?
Scott Fountain.
I think he goes too, personally.
I think Fountain has needed to go. Cam Little has been.
He's keeping his job.
Easter. Yeah.
Cam Little. Yeah. Max Fletcher's not doing him any favors.
Yeah, Max
I
did
have
not
so
have
much to say about him. Don't even get me started, bro.
Yeah.
I can kick further. I can kick further. I
I
played football. I wanted to go to tryouts. They had tryouts. You know what they told me?
Huh.
You have to kick 30 yards at a punt. And I said, that's it? Move.
I can actually see that.
Next year when they have tryouts, I'm going to go and we're going to live stream it on Inside the Hog Pen.
I like it.
By the way, if you're going to the Auburn game, look for me. I will be on the sidelines during pregame ceremonies.
What you want to meet up and go to the top tier tailgate and get some free gear?
Sarah, I don't drink unless they got Dr. Pepper up there.
No, they're giving away shirts and stuff.
Gear, not beer.
Not
Gear.
beer.
Oh, yeah. All day. I'll take free Razorback stuff all day. Dude,
I'm working the actual game, but then we can tailgate prior.
I mean, ask Katie. I was trying my damnedest to buy a Razorback Squishmallow, and I don't like them things. All right.
But it would be so cute on your couch just watching you.
I know. My daughter might actually steal it though. So
Loki's got a good identifier here for Zach.
So
yes.
Unfortunately, I cannot do that on the field, but I will be in the stands during the game, and you best believe y'all are going to hear me scream louder and louder, damn it. So if you got little kids around, I am so sorry.
Are you not coming up till Saturday?
I am not coming up till Saturday. I'll be up there early. I'll be up there about 7 o'clock Saturday morning.
Well, if you would have came on Friday, you could have seen Chuck and his woman.
Well, if he goes up on Friday, you go to the basketball game.
That's what I'm saying.
Are y'all going to give me shit about this?
Yes.
I'm not, because I can't go either. I had to turn down.
You could see a team who might win a national championship by leaving
30
your
years,
house
baby.
6
30
hours
years,
early.
baby.
So let me tell you how much adulting sucks right now. I got a text from a good friend of mine last night. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing Saturday?" I'm like, as far as I know, I don't think we have anything going on Saturday. And he texts me, he's like, "I got 2 extra tickets. You and Heather need to go to the game with us." And I'm like, ah! And I can't, because I've had one of my boys has been sick all week with the flu, and he doesn't get clearance to start making public appearances again until like Monday. So
okay, leave him home with the wife and you come.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
not
I'm
gonna fly.
Or
That's not
My
gonna fly.
husband, whoever ends up, if he's on this live stream right now, if whoever ends up with me, you just gonna have to deal with it.
I don't know how well it would go over if I told my wife that, it's like, "Hey, there's this young college girl that says I just need to leave everybody at home and come to the ball game this weekend."
right? Jesse Randall Thurman jumped on late, but just wanted to say thanks for what y'all do and appreciate the show being on Apple Podcasts, so I can listen to work when I miss the show live. Hey,
all right,
nice.
How about that? How about that plug? Yeah,
thank you for that. Thank you for that. We are on Apple. We're on Spotify, MC. We're pretty much everywhere.
Oh man, we are at every major podcast outlet right now, with the exception of Google Podcast. I'm still trying to work through some issues on the Google side. But we got Spotify, we got Apple, we got iHeart, we got Amazon,
Radio Public or whatever it's called.
Radio Public, which is one I'd never heard of, but it's out there. So there are multiple outlets, and hey, glad to hear that somebody is taking advantage of that. Appreciate that.
Definitely. We got more stuff to come too. We're gonna have podcast exclusives that you can't find anywhere else except on our podcast. So be watching for that. Sarah has her own segment coming up later in the show, by the way, and y'all might want to put a warning on it. Y'all might want to put a warning on that. When we come back, it's time to go to school. You're watching and listening Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back in 60 seconds. welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. It's time to go to school, and I'm going to let you two take off and run with it, but I have questions of my own. And how about them Hogs, man?
Oh, God, it's so great that basketball is back. It's just, I mean, it just, everything is right with the world now. Bud Walton rocking. First basket of the game was Brazil going and making another poster. I mean, it was just.
I have to ask y'all one question
All
to
right.
start off. Was this our Super Bowl too? I mean, I'm trying to keep up. I'm
kind of losing track of how many Super Bowls we got. Man,
by the way,
Purdue fans are still salty.
Oh yeah. By the way, in the Hog Wild Live fan feedback, everybody watches very closely here at Inside the Hog Pen, and they're saying,
I didn't think anybody would notice.
Look at Swish with the costume change.
It got cold, and this was what was right there. I'm sorry.
Right? Look at this.
Hey, at least it was Hog stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Because before I was wearing.
I'm the
Warriors
oddball out tonight. I'm for once I'm not in Razorback gear tonight. I'm representing the Dutton Farm or the Dutton Ranch in Yellowstone.
I will say that this was worn by someone on a football field. It might have been the athletic trainer, but still.
Hey, gear is gear. I don't care who.
I bought it from some girl on Facebook.
I'm leaving that one alone.
Whatever it takes.
But I mean, so we talked about it after the Purdue game, and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts because, like I said, y'all are the basketball gurus here. I'm the football guy. This is the most complete and gelled team that I have seen this early in the season, even against Alcorn State.
Yeah, and what I wanted to see, the one thing I wanted to see is I did not want to come into this game and have a huge letdown and them let Alcorn State stay within 15 to 18 points coming off of the way that they just absolutely took care of business against Purdue. And these guys come in.
A shot at the women's team.
Wait. Don't steal the thunder yet, because
I mean, that might be a little bit of a teaser, for you, a little, just kind of throw that your way and let you pick up on it there.
That might be the point. You and I just kind of disappear for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll just bow out and we'll put Sarah full screen on that and just let Sarah go.
And we'll leave that and go. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know. But I mean, in all retrospect, you got Brazil that was healthy, and for him to
should not have been ejected.
Well,
but at the same time, he's playing fierce, and for Muss to be almost teed up to get hit
28-point lead, and that's my coach, man. My coach is over getting
son.
Have y'all seen the video? I think Pig Trail Nation might have posted it, or Courtney shared it from Pig Trail Nation, where Muss is literally jumping behind the player.
Yeah.
His energy, I played with a high school coach that was very high energy, and I never thought anybody could beat her. That woman, they actually cut the floor out by the bench where she stomped her heel so much that it was dented when we got the new floor. I never thought I would ever meet someone like that. Muss is 10 times that. It's insane. He's running the baseline, the sideline sometimes more than the guys are.
How many calories you think he burns in one game?
I wanted him to.
He drinks it all in Diet Coke on the bench.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I want him to inject some of that energy into me, dude. I'm ready to run.
Man, give me 10% of Muss's energy, and I'm good for a month.
So my better half is in the house tonight. What's up, Katie?
No, I will say there were not having the letdown, coming out and blowing this team off the floor like I expected them to do was really huge. I wanted to see that because we've seen with past teams, they'll have one good game and then you'll have a lesser opponent and they kind of play down to their level of competition. We did not see that.
I beg to differ. The first 5 minutes, I was
okay. First 5 minutes is.
But I do have to say, for Alcorn State, they had some really shifty good players. They really did. I will throw them some credit too. I felt like they really got after it on the defensive end of the floor. If it was not a fast break situation, if it was a half court situation, man, they locked down. They played really solid defense, I thought. I told you, our defense looks good.
So
Dylan's telling me that Brazil
We're-
should have been.
We're gonna get to his comment. I'm gonna let you add it. I'm gonna let you have it. Loki says this team has it. The vibe they bring is unreal, and it makes the intangibles intangible. This team is gonna go places. Count on it. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah,
My
keep
thing
everybody
is-
healthy, and it's gonna be fun.
As much as I like watching the team win, like I'm a basketball player, I want them to win. I like which I haven't seen them lose yet, but the team is truly a team.
Mhm.
Like they are, like I actually see them on campus together. Like it's more team than I feel like maybe last year's was. Like I don't feel like there's not one person that's like out of the loop or like ignoring everybody like I felt there was last year, where it's like I see them all as a unit a lot.
Not to take away the talent from last year, because we had a talented team last year. However, there were moments in last year's team where I thought they were playing a lot of me ball, whereas this team in just 2 games has played, or 3 games, has played a lot of we ball.
Well, and I know that this is a stat that Muss has somebody on the staff track, but it's not in the game notes. But I know they track it, the number of passes per game.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I can get that. I know who has that.
the team. What I saw the other night, it was on that fine line between underpassing and overpassing. You were right in the middle, right where you needed to be, because there was one prime example that. And I don't remember, I know it was in the first half, but I don't remember who it was. But there was some snappy ball movement, and it went to the guy in the corner. And he had a great look at a wide open 3, but instead of taking it, he makes one extra pass. I think out to Battle was who got the shot on the wing and nailed the 3, because he was even more open than the guy in the corner. Last year, the guy in the corner takes that 3. Maybe he hits it, maybe he doesn't. But it's the little details like that. Of knowing when to make the extra pass. And I was really, really impressed with what I saw. And to kind of piggyback off of what you guys said about the me ball last year. I heard an analogy the other day, and I think it was on Ruskin and Zach, but I'm not for sure. If I go back and hear it, then I'll give them credit. But last year was kind of like an arranged marriage. It was more of a business deal, rather than, 2 people that are like, really getting married, it's like they married for the money last year. It was
I
one
felt
of
like
those
we
deals.
were just a stepping stone. We were literally just a one-stop shop. They needed to get that college year, and then they could go to the NBA. That's how I felt.
It was this necessary step that had to happen.
The only one that I think truly used us was Walsh. He truly learned from us, I felt like.
And I still stand by the certain player. I'm not going to talk about it. But anyways, I mean, the guys that played, I mean, you're not going to see this many players throughout the season. I think Muss is going to trim that down, but it's going to be.
I kind of beg to differ. Unless you're counting Cade and Lawson, who will never touch the floor again. Sorry. Love y'all, but no.
Chandler Lawson?
No. Lawson Blake.
No, you had Blocker, Brazil, Battle, Devo, Davenport, Graham, Fall, Mark, Ellis, Harris, and Pinion all play.
I don't think Pinion plays as much, and I don't think Fall plays as much, but the rest will for sure.
I wouldn't mind them coming off the bench sometimes.
Yeah.
Because MC, when we were testing out the internet lag for the game, you had made a comment that this team kind of has the depth that Nolan used to have and could substitute.
Yeah, I feel like this is by far going to be Muss's deepest team. Now, whether or not he opens up his little circle of trust that the last couple of years where he's played, when it got down to SEC games and postseason where he played 7 guys, if he opens that up to 9 or so, I think it'll be huge. I think, and I've got a comment here I want to go to with Sam because it kind of ties in with this one from Garrett. Do you think Arkansas will beat Duke in the regular season in November? I think there's a lot better chance of Arkansas beating Duke because of that game being in Bud Walton Arena than either on a neutral site or at Cameron Indoor. I think we're going to see
incoherent that game.
Yeah, that is going to be
insane.
Of all the great atmospheres that we've ever seen at Bud Walton Arena, and I'm going way back to like Super Bowl Sunday versus Kentucky in 1995 or Auburn 1999. Some of those older ones when Bud Walton was brand new. This is going to blow it out of the water, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and put Sam's comment up because
before we do put that up there, Sam, MC, we have to acknowledge our number.
I'm not going to be able to move to my seat.
Nothing wrong with that. Casey Sutton, our number one fans in the house, says, "Hi guys, really, really excited for the season of Hog Ball. Guys, if y'all don't know, I'm gonna say this, and I'll say this every time she joins our show. She has kicked cancer's ass twice, which is
take a drink to that.
Which is something hard to do, and so that's why she has earned, and we respect that, and given her the number one fan title. But yeah, Sam Jones says, when we're gonna lose Sarah for a second, but I'm gonna put that up there and I'm gonna remove it, and then we'll read it, MC.
All right, sounds good.
It says, temper excitement just a bit on basketball. The Duke game will tell the story. Also, the SEC will be the best it's been top to bottom in 25 years. I've personally watched Ole Miss, Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, and they are all really good. Just want to caution against thinking we will sleep through our schedule.
Yeah, and by no means am I saying we're going to sleepwalk through the SEC schedule. He's spot on with the SEC being very strong. And he mentioned a team there that's not getting a lot of play right now as far as hype. But when it comes down to late February, early March, watch out because Ole Miss is going to be there. Okay, they hired Chris Beard to take over their program. The same Chris Beard that took Texas Tech to the national championship game, same Chris Beard that was on his way at Texas before he had his incident, shall we say.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to come back in with a chip on his shoulder with something to prove. And you got to watch out for that team. They will be the team that will be, I'm not going to say they're going to be at the top of the SEC, but they're going to be that middle tier team that could play spoiler and really screw up somebody's season. So
yeah.
They're going to be one of those to watch.
That's going to be the telltale sign. And I agree with Sam to an extent that Duke is going to be the telltale sign of where this team actually sits, because up until that point, you're really playing. I mean, you've got the Oklahoma game, and
and you've got don't forget the week of Thanksgiving. You've got the battle for Atlantis, and so you're going to be facing either Memphis or Michigan, with the possibility of Villanova or North Carolina. So right. I mean, there's some salty teams in that tournament as well.
But and let me put this question up here. Randy Randall McGee says, "Why would we temper our excitement? I don't understand that comment or that way of thinking. I will be at the game Friday and have been at the Purdue game. We are as good as everybody." Randy, I think.
I mean, it's more just a caution. It's like, hey, it's just saying don't put the cart out in front of the horse. Is basically what he's saying.
I think what Sam is doing is trying to prevent what most of us did for football and drink too much of the Kool-Aid too soon.
I would agree. I would agree with that. And, we kind of have a tendency as Razorback fans to overreact, whether it's positive or negative. And I'm as guilty as anybody. Like, I mean, I'm over here doing this with my arm and getting ready to inject the Kool-Aid for basketball because I'm pretty hyped, man. I'll just admit it right now. I'm pretty hyped.
Garrett Ray showing Casey some love. Says, "Way to go, kick cancer's ass. You go, girl."
Yeah, that's all. That's always worth throwing some love too.
We're gonna throw that up there, and like I said, we're gonna pull that off, and I'll read it then. Loki says, "Oh, I think we're gonna fight the whole way. I don't expect us to sleepwalk through anything. Even the Bulls dynasty had down moments, but they pushed through and kept fighting. Look at what they did. That is the vibe I get from this team. We just need fat battle to avoid free pizzas. If you know, you know."
I don't know, so I'll ask once the show's over. I'll ask for details on that. But I really like what I see from this team. We talked about it, the way they've kind of gelled, the chemistry. I don't think you're going to have a problem with this team staying focused and just taking it, as coaches like to say, you take it one game at a time. But we'll know by the end of November. We'll know a lot more about this team than we know right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It just, to me, By the way, Sarah is trying to join back with us. Her Wi-Fi is on the fritz. So that Duke game, for many reasons, and I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's coincidence or if it was purposely done this way or what, but it's nice to have Duke in Bud Walton 30 years later.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. You got to figure Nolan will be in attendance for that game.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Mark Krzyzewski either.
I mean, yeah, I've gone back and forth on that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that Duke would want to celebrate, or be a part of a celebration of them losing a national title game. I mean, they've got plenty of them that they've won to celebrate, but I think you'll definitely see Nolan there. Wouldn't surprise me to see some of the members of that 94 team be honored that night, honestly. And I kind of feel like if we don't honor the 94 team that night, we're missing an opportunity.
So I'm going to be, for a moment, just for argument's sake,
okay,
before anybody lights me up, just simply for argument's sake, do you think we've done too much to remember the 94 team? I mean, it seems like every 10, 15 years we do it. Not saying that we shouldn't, because that was one hell of a team, but
well, I mean, that's your one title team.
It is. And there was a lot of talent on that team. A lot.
I mean, I think
I don't want to milk that cow dry to where it's here we go again.
Well, the easy way to fix that, Muss just needs to win it all this year.
I don't want to drink the full Kool-Aid. Let's see if we can get Sarah back in here. I don't want to drink the full Kool-Aid, but after what
just drink it. Just drink it.
Here, I'll even send you this Cowboys cup to drink it in. So,
all right, if you're gonna send me the Cowboy cup, just bring it on. Bring it on.
All right, so Sam has a follow-up.
All right.
I was gonna.
What were you gonna say, Sarah? Go ahead.
MC has to wear his jersey for the Duke game, the podcast prior to the Duke game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Sarah. She was able to snag me one of the student jerseys from the other night, and I'm so excited. Like Christmas is coming early for me.
I'm still gonna find some more. I know where they at.
Well, at least
Sarah's got all the hookups, man. She's got the inside info. She's gonna get us the stats for the passes. I mean, she's just got it all.
We made the right call to bring her on then, MC.
Yeah,
didn't we?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's why y'all want me.
No. We and in about 5 minutes or so, we're gonna let the world know why we brought you on. Trust me. Coach Eisenhower says, "What's good, fellas? Just wanted to jump in and show love before my stream. Hey, if y'all haven't checked out Coach I and the Fan Addict, go over there. That whole network over there.
That's awesome.
They're
They do great work.
They're awesome. I love being on their show every Saturday night when I can. MC, they are asking for you, by the way.
All right, cool.
But love being on their show. Love being on Hawg HQ over in, formerly known as Hawg Sports. And Matt Hart, Adam Hall, and DP. Fantastic over there, man. That podcast over there is killing it.
Yeah, those guys are just nailing it. I mean, they're doing what Kenny G did to the offense, man. They're just killing it right now.
While some other brands have knockoffs. But let's go to Sam Jones once again. Says, I've passively been a Duke fan since the Grant Hill days. This is an unusual, not so athletic team. We can out athlete Duke this season. Also, if Bud Walton Arena is loud and we get off to a fast start, then we have a great chance. Duke doesn't do well in road games where they are punked and punched in the mouth.
This is true.
I'm offended, Sam. You're a Duke fan, and no.
I mean, even if you are passively a Duke fan, do you ever really want to admit it? I mean,
does that mean we get to call him a Duke? Not to be immature. Can we call him a Dookie now? That's what they call their fans. That's what they call their fans. Honest to God, they call them. I think you're right to an extent. But
if y'all ever called me a Dookie, I would cry. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry.
So Sam Jones has a follow-up to his comment. He says, my comment was very clear. We know there will be struggles at some point this season. Muss and Devo were built in March. Every year they have been disappointing regular losses to lesser opponents. This team is elite, but I'd rather have them peaking in March rather than November.
1,000,000% agree. 1,000,000%.
This is a game. If some of y'all, if I see comments about, oh, the season's over, fire him. We going back to this comment.
Well, I will not say that. This is not football. So
and basketball is different too, man.
Basketball is kind of different because there's more games. You play, what is it? You play the conference twice.
Yeah. Well, most of the teams we play home and home.
Western Division.
Kinda. I mean, they did away with the divisions in basketball a couple years ago. I mean, it's kind of a dumb setup right now, to be honest.
I was waiting on him to say something. Shut up, Dylan.
Oh, we know. I mean, you knew that was coming. It's like a Brazil dunk. You just know it's coming at some point.
Well, but I mean,
some guy's going to run his mouth.
You have to understand, we beat Duke. And number one, these two are going to be insufferable on this show.
I will
just
become.
This show?
I will look. I will take the next 3 weeks off because they're going to be able to run with this.
You're going to have to change all the passwords to all the socials to everything.
Actually, I'm going to let it ride.
If we come up and we have a good showing down at Battle for Atlantis, and we beat either Michigan, Memphis, North Carolina, or Villanova, or whatever the combination of those are, and then come back and follow that up with beating Duke, oh, dear God.
We're all going to have a great Christmas.
I will be so insufferable. I mean...
Man, see, this whole time I've been thinking that the Duke game was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh, my gosh, my Thanksgiving is going to be so good. But
it's Wednesday after. Yeah. Now, we play in the Battle for Atlantis. We play, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think.
But it was Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
You're right. Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, because the football game's on Friday. So you'll have 4 straight days of Razorback ball. You'll have the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Day, football on Friday, might or might not matter. And then you have basketball again on Saturday.
Greatest 4 days of the year.
I mean, hey.
So Garrett Ray said, I missed it. It lagged. Do you think there will be more? Do you think there will be 8 SEC teams in the Big Dance, possibly 4 SEC teams in the Elite 8?
Oh, I wasn't here for that combo. I have 2 SEC teams in my Final 4. Us and Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean,
Tennessee.
I mean, but MC, I honestly I can get behind that, you know.
I mean, it's just that ugly orange.
I know. Trust me.
And the fact that Vescovi, has been he played against Todd Day. I mean, that's how long it feels like he's been on Tennessee's roster. I mean, he that dude's got to be working. He's got to be older than me at this point.
I mean, Garrett, right now, I'll be honest with you. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, it's a little too early to look at that. Like I said, you're only 1 game into the season. I would wait till probably February to start making predictions.
It doesn't matter because the Hogs are going to win it all. It doesn't matter who's in the Elite 8 because we're going to beat them all. It doesn't matter.
There you go.
Sarah's just knocking off. She just running through the wall like the Kool-Aid man.
I've already injected the Kool-Aid. Y'all got to catch up. Come on. I was in Bud Walton this week injecting it. I'm going to be in there Friday injecting it.
Hey, you notice she went from a short sleeve shirt to a long sleeve shirt. That's why, because she's been injecting that Kool-Aid and she doesn't want us to know. So
yep. See if I can. I'm trying to get.
You know what's horrible is I got blood drawn this week, last week, so I have bruises on my arms.
Chris Fletcher says, "Been a great show dealing with business tonight, but still listening." Hey, Chris,
I appreciate you being part of it, Chris. Whatever you can be a part of.
If you can't finish listening, podcast will be up within a day or so.
Yeah, it'll be up tomorrow because as soon as we finish up tonight, I'll go ahead and get things set in motion, and then by tomorrow morning, it should be up and running.
So there's that. By the way, Brad Staten says, you have to remember, Zach wears his hat backwards. Just saying.
Yeah, apparently that kills all credibility.
Proudly. I will wear it proudly. Sam
Old
Jones
man.
And I love this question by Sam. Also, can we please bow out of the SEC basketball tournament tonight? It is the most pointless thing ever. It actually hurts your chances in the national tourney to play 3 or 4 days in Nashville. I would lose out on purpose. I would too. It means there's nothing about it that holds any kind of, I'm going to go ahead and say, credibility.
Well, if you're not playing for that automatic bid, because if you have your tournament bid locked up, if you have one of the at-larges, there's no benefit for you to play all the way to Sunday. Now, if you're a bubble team and you're fighting to get in, and the only way you're going to get in is to get that automatic bid, then yeah, that's a little different.
But see, I think we're going to have that automatic lock. I think we're going to be one of the teams.
Well, if we don't, you're going to have two very disappointed co-hosts, and you want to talk about insufferable. Let this season go down the toilet, and you'll see how insufferable I can be.
Y'all will see so much less of me if that happens. I
mean, I'll be sitting over here with, Bubba Carpenter calls it a poo-poo lip. I'll have the biggest poo-poo lip of anybody if this goes the complete opposite of the way we're expecting it.
Garrett Ray says, don't worry. If you think Tennessee orange is bad, Texas is worse. I have to look at Texas orange almost every Friday or Saturday because Katie
I'm sorry.
is a Texas fan. I know. Say a prayer. All I have to say.
Whew. I did not know this. How did I not know this?
In the name of the woo, the pig, and the suey.
I had no idea. Wow. Okay.
We're not going to hold that against her.
No, we're not. We'll just continue to work on her a little bit. A little bit at a time.
Hold up now. Wait a minute. By the way, y'all give me a national championship hat. By God, I will wear it backwards.
One of the original issues.
I will have my 1994 shirt out, and it will be hanging behind me when the season kicks in.
She's got that football Wi-Fi going on, and she said she's over it.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you there. But, so you're looking ahead to Gardner-Webb. Are we going to see the same kind of lineup? What do we expect out of this game that's different from Alcorn State? Are we expecting anything different?
Not really. No. I think Muss might toy with the lineup a little bit more just to see a different combo.
I think he said he wants to see, so from Purdue to Alcorn State, he saw more free throws.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to get advantage now. Because I think Ball, Graham, and Denaje Harris shot 30% from the free throw line.
Yeah. So I've got the stats right here. As a team, so Muss, I think we had 17 free throw attempts in the Purdue game. We shot 37 free throws the other night against Alcorn State. Only made 25 of them. That's 67%. I kind of see 70 to 75% is kind of the cutoff. That's where I would like to be minimum.
If you're getting paid to play D1, you need to be at 70 at least.
I agree. 100%. I agree. But looking at those three guys that you mentioned, Harris, 3 out of 6 from the free throw line. Bay Fall, 2 out of 6 from the free throw line. Jalen Graham, 0 for 2. Okay. So compare that with Brazil, 4 out of 4. L. Ellis, 1 out of 2. Pinion, 4 out of 4. Khalif Battle, 8 out of 9. So, the majority of your misses came from 3 guys.
Who are inside guys that need to be hitting them. They're going to get fouled the most.
Yeah.
Graham was 0 for 2. At that point in the game, I will say I saw him scrunching his face a little bit. I don't think he was doing too well at the time. So I'm going to give him the doubt because it was only one time to the free throw line. The other two, especially Fall's shooting has really, I don't know the right words. I'm not happy with it at all.
Yeah, D-Mad brings up a good point here. Jalen Graham's kryptonite last year was free throw shooting. And defense. Okay, say that again. Your Wi-Fi muted you.
I was going to say, both of y'all kind of lagged out for a second.
Jalen's Graham kryptonite for me was sharing the dang ball, not the free throws.
Well, but that's true too. And I think that, and then I called him a bullfighter on defense last year because he would just kind of stand to the side and go Olay and let the guy drive right by him.
He did,
but I think he's worked on that a little bit. But I would like to see more from him from the free throw line if he's going to be on the floor. So we'll see what becomes of that. Anyway,
Garrett Ray, we're 6-0. Go ahead, MC.
Well, the only other thing I was going to point out that really stuck out to me was we had 12 made 3-pointers. We were 12 out of 30 from 3-point range, 40% for the game.
That's
I felt like that's
less,
pretty solid.
it's one less than the record made 3-pointers and season openers. It's like I want to say like 152nd game we've made a 3-pointer in Bud Walton in a row.
Because it could have been 1,000, but we broke that streak a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't see against Alcorn State was panic 3-pointers. I mean, being up by 30, you don't necessarily need to panic and throw up a 3, but I didn't see any unnecessary rushed shots.
I think there was 1 or 2 when the clock was getting ran down. I wouldn't say necessarily rushed. They were still decent shots. They're just not shots we wanted.
Right. Garrett Ray says if we were 6-0 or 12-0 going into SEC conference games in basketball, Muss will be the first coach to achieve it in 3 years in a row. Here's the deal. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Because
I personally hope we're not something 0. I know that sounds bad. Like, I'm a basketball person. I want us to go whatever 0. But I also want to see this team lose.
Okay.
So
what do you want to see from the loss?
I want to see how they bounce back. Because in SEC play, I don't want to see us go 4 games in a row again where we lose and we haven't had to deal with it, and then we go lose 3 more because we have selfish players who want the win or they don't know how they have their heads hung.
I know exactly the point she's trying to make because it happened last year. Because
we went 3 and start conference or 0-3 to start conference play because we lose whatever that first game was, and they start bickering. Even on like Dixon Street, they were arguing. Like, it didn't end on the court. Like, it was a big thing. Like, and I want to see how this team handles it prior to SEC time.
Well, Sarah, you were at the Purdue game, correct?
I'll be at every.
Muss said in postgame, or Chuck Barrett said in postgame, that majority of the team after that game was out on the court shooting shots again.
I have evidence of it. My friend Merle got on the court right after the game taking pictures with them. That's a whole nother story. But yeah.
Leaving that. I'm not touching that one.
Not something we recommend, but
I will say last year too, I would be walking to games and guys were just getting there. Like, because I was there as early as them.
Yeah.
Like, because go do stuff before games or whatever. I will say that when I parked my car 3 hours before game time to then go to the restaurant with everybody, most of the guys that I know their cars were already there. And so Muss said they were all lifting prior to the game. I 1,000% believe that because all their cars were in the parking lot.
Well, and I saw the soundbite or the video clip rather of Muss talking about that, these guys lifting before the game. And he mentioned that was something that he hadn't seen any of his teams voluntarily go lift prior to the game since he was in the NBA. So, I mean, that kind of gives me the indication, okay, these guys are locked in. They fully bought into what Muss is selling, and, they all have the same mission that they want to accomplish this year.
And it shows. It really does show. Dylan Madden says, did y'all notice when Devo threw up that heavily contested one-legged 3, Muss pulled his ass out?
Yeah.
Him, the twin wasn't given enough effort on defense or something, and he put him in the bench too. A bunch of people lost in because he sat the bench half the game.
Yeah, I lost out on a prop bet because I had Mikal Mitchell, and I remember that got to hear me complaining about that. So
I don't know. I don't know if we should release that just as a pod.
It was raw. It wasn't bad, but it was. I got a little raw. I got a little salty in a couple places.
But it was funny as hell. Casey wants to know if any of us are going to the Little Rock game on December 16th. I don't know. I don't know yet.
TBD. To be determined.
Sarah will be there though.
Yeah, it's becoming one of those deals of it. If it's in the state of Arkansas and the lights are on, Sarah's going to be there.
Absolutely. Loki says, you just want to see them lose, don't you? Oh, wait, wrong team.
Yeah.
By the way, it's
We're
coming.
not there yet. We're getting
It's
closer,
coming.
but
We're
not there
wrapping this.
yet.
We're wrapping this segment up, and on the other side of the break, we may not be back for a little bit. MC and I may not be. We're just probably gonna let Sarah run with this. Sam Jones says, in all fairness, Sarah, Dixon Street has the ability to spawn arguments from all of us.
Yeah, but he has a fair point there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, what was it? What was the famous quote by Baker Mayfield? Dixon Street, it'll get you.
Get you.
Dixon will get you. Garrett Ray says, if we lose.
Yeah, we'll leave that one there. Yes, he would know.
Hey, whoa. Hold the hell up. How y'all just going to throw me under the bus?
No, we're talking about Baker. We're talking about Baker would know.
Oh, yeah, Baker would know. Yeah. Garrett Ray says, if we lose, I want us to lose prior to conference and midway in conference, then peak in the end of February going into March.
That's the blueprint right there.
I want
game 1 or game 2 of the SEC tournament. I do not give a flying crackerjack if we win.
Yeah, when your Wi-Fi took you out, we had a comment about that. About can we just go ahead and opt out of the SEC tournament now?
Yeah, I'm almost to the fact of can you decline an invitation to the SEC tournament?
Yeah, and the only point that I brought up, Sarah, on that was, we should not be at the juncture where the SEC tournament is important. We should have an at-large bid locked up in the safe, behind the keypad.
Yeah.
And that needs to be reserved for the teams that are trying to make the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I
100% agree.
If you go and lose the first game, I think it looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I say win 1, lose 2.
Yeah.
Does that
you're not,
okay?
I don't want them sitting 3 whole weeks or whatever it is while that tournament is going on. I want them to play at least a game or 2, but I don't want to go play 5, 6, 7, whatever it is games.
But
you want to be in the top 4 because you get that bye to the semifinals. So let's just say you win your game on Friday and lose on Saturday, and then you go home and then you're off, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because the NCAA tournament starts the following Thursday or Friday. That's a good rest. That's not too long to be off.
That's what I want. Exactly. We're going to be the ones.
There you go.
Yeah, but wouldn't it hurt? I mean, if you don't win, I mean, let's say, for instance, if you lose that first game, we all know Muss is not going to have these guys just sitting around.
True. Very true.
But if you play all the way to the title game, wouldn't that – I mean, because if you win, you win. I mean, it's not like you're going to try to go win. But, I mean, if you win handedly, I mean, you can keep winning. I mean, will that hurt you in the long run as far as, how fresh the legs are come tournament time?
I think it possibly could. And then there's also the risk of injury.
That's what I'm saying is the injury,
I'm also of the mindset, though, that if you play through and you get to Sunday, then you just got to do what Jake Taylor said, and you just got to go win the whole effing thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be playing on Sunday anyway, you might as well win it.
Yeah.
Don't go to the final and then decide to lose.
Yeah.
Right. Up next, home against Gardner-Webb Friday, November 10th, 7 p.m. on the SEC Plus. That is not ESPN Plus. That is on the ESPN app alone. If you have cable, satellite, or streaming service, you can get SEC Network Plus. We're going to step away for a break. On the other side of the break, I'm going to let Sarah just take the segment.
Ooh, buckle up, because we're about to turn Sarah loose.
We have to beg the question, is the neighborhood collapsing? We're going to find out on the other side of the break. You're listening to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. Hi, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Okay, you knew we were going to bring it up, and I feel like Sarah has a lot to say about this. But how do you struggle to beat a ULM team? I'm going to ask it: is the neighborhood collapsing?
So, oh, there went the Wi-Fi. Okay, it's back. I will say ULM has a dang good team. I'm gonna give them credit. They went to the transfer portal, pulled some great players out of there. Some of those are SEC players. Some of them are great players. But to go and only beat a Sun Belt A-State conference team by, what was it, 5 points at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Or 3? No, I think it was a 3-point at the end. A little embarrassing. And the fact that your freshman had to go and pull 29 points for you to win. I don't know. A little bit concerning in my book.
So you're saying we're missing Wolfenbarger?
Neighbor's best team.
Yeah, in his post-game press conference, I don't know who all saw it, but in the post-game press conference, he was a little bit more enthusiastic than I would have liked to have seen, because he was like, let him come after me or whatever he said. And I'm like, dude, you just barely beat a Sun Belt team. So if my question is, if he's struggling to beat a ULM team, granted, shout out to Kim Mulkey and the LSU Tigers for getting completely curb stomped by Colorado. I'm not taking anything away from that, but
that was fun to watch.
You get into conference play.
That's also Colorado, not ULM, not even the
Right.
University of Louisiana. We couldn't even play them. We played Louisiana Monroe and couldn't hardly win.
Football can say the same thing.
So it was 5.8176. I pulled the box score up here, and just looking over some of these numbers. Jacayla Johnson, 34 minutes, 34 points.
Killed it.
I mean, that's just putting on a show.
I wonder about this team when it gets into conference play, is how much more. And I understand that you want to get attendance numbers up. You want to have as much as, the guys do at their basketball games. But if you're constantly struggling, I'll be honest with you, this was a struggle win in all sense of the word, because they were down by 2 at half.
Yeah.
Nobody's
and that's when it got my attention. I didn't see very much of the game at all.
I didn't either.
I was flipping through social media and saw that they were down 2 at half, and I was kind of like, oh my God, what is going on here? But looking over some of these stats now, I kind of understand why it was such a struggle win, because for the game they shot 37. Well, we'll call it 38 because we'll round up. We'll go 38% from the field, 27% from 3-point range. And the one area that I feel like is what ended up saving the game for them is they were 75% from the free throw line for the game, but for the entire game they only shot 12 free throws.
And half of those
free throws. Yeah, and 5 of those came in the fourth quarter.
I think we lost Sarah again.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you've got to get more opportunities than that from the free throw line. Now, I'll give credit where it's due. In the fourth quarter, in crunch time, they're 5 out of 5 from the free throw line. But
this Wi-Fi's about to get fired like neighbors. I can't do it.
Hey, what's collapsing faster, your Wi-Fi or the neighborhood?
Oh!
If anybody here works for AT&T Wi-Fi, tell them to come fix my crap.
What?
I get 1 megabyte per second at night. 1. Didn't even know they could do that.
So Sarah, as a former player, I got to throw this question at you. I'm looking at the box score.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are ugly. You have 40 points in the paint. Okay, not bad. That's pretty solid. But how are you going to get 40 points in the paint and only shoot 12 free throws for the whole game? I can't wrap my head around that.
I don't see. Go ahead, Sarah.
I want to say mean stuff, but so there's Miriam, first of all. Love her as a person. As a player, she's weak. Falls away from the ball. I guarded her in high school. She's this much taller than me and held her to 2 points. And now she's a D1. Like, please. Anyway, you have her who's weak. And then you have Sailor Poffenberger, who is also not a strong player. You lost Erin to the portal, whatever her last name was. You don't have a true good post because the one girl has her elbow surgery or whatever, Emery. That's the other post you've had for 2 years. She's out. And then you have Miriam and Sailor. I think those are the only two post players you truly have. And both of them.
Freezing up.
Boy, Sarah's fixing.
So I have to. Okay, so while Sarah's frozen up, I got to make a correction because on the free throws for the game, let me find this back here again.
I'm gonna try to bring Sarah on while you're making your point there, MC.
Okay, so I was on. I gotta fix one of my stats that I threw out because I was reading the wrong line and I was reading ULM's free throws. Okay. So they were the ones with only 12 free throws for the game. Arkansas was 28 out of 44 free throws for the game, 63%.
Okay.
If you break that down by quarter, they shot 11 in the first quarter, 10 in the second, 6 in the third quarter, and then 17 free throws in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I was say everything came in the fourth quarter because ULM was doing that foul, go get a bucket, foul, go get a bucket kind of thing.
So I have to back up and correct myself there.
I wasn't watching the full
Yeah. So you're looking at Talea Scott, 32 minutes. And let me scroll this across. 29 points in 32 minutes. Michaela Daniels was 17. Poffenberger ended up, she only had 7. But she had, get this,
21 rebounds.
21 rebounds.
21.
That's a
one less than the record. The record was 22.
I mean, that's a Dennis Rodman stat line. 7 points, 21 rebounds.
So,
but that also shows you don't have anybody else to play a post. She played how many minutes?
Yeah, she played 37 minutes.
Just gonna leave that right there.
Neighbor Sarah is there. Very nice, Sam. Very nice.
That's pretty funny.
Unless there's good Wi-Fi, that's for sure.
So you were talking about Sailor. Sailor played the most minutes of anybody. She played. You had 4 players over 30 minutes. Talea Scott,
Talia, Samara.
Talia and Samara. You got it.
I know. I didn't even have to look at it. I hadn't even looked at the screenshotted stats sheet on Twitter. My bad.
Oh, that's another one of those. If you know, you know. So
wait. I got this. Hold on.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's a perfect place for that. So, hey, I will say this: it was for all the negative that we have to throw out there. It was nice to see Sasha Goforth get back in the game and get. She's got, according to the stats here, she's got about 18 minutes that she played in the game. So it was nice to see her back.
Came in and blocked a shot almost immediately.
Yeah,
her long, lanky arms.
Yeah, only 3 points on the night, I believe, if I'm reading this right. 4 points, I'm sorry. But, she also chipped in with 7 rebounds as well. And then big block, just like you were talking about, just right off the bat.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next. I don't have their info for that game, but we will make sure
they play again. I think they play again Friday morning. It's the elementary school game.
Yep. That's right.
All right,
see, I know my stuff, even though I don't like them.
There you go. As we're wrapping up here, got to spotlight a couple of more things, and then we're going to give a final thought. Razorback Soccer hosts the NCAA tournament as a 2 seed. It is the highest in program history.
They just had to schedule at the same time as basketball, didn't they? They just ruined my weekend.
First round against Grambling at Razorback Field, November 10th, 6:30 on ESPN Plus. That is actually on ESPN Plus. That will not be on SEC Network Plus. So if you have ESPN, you'll be able to watch it. But I don't want to watch it's a lot of money. And then, of course, we are 100 days away from baseball.
Yeah.
I'm 51 days away from vacation. Thank God.
100 days. Wow. That's gonna pass quickly, especially with hoops being as good as it is. I mean, we'll get down to the clutch time for hoops, and baseball will be cranking up. That's gonna be fun.
All right, final thought before we get out of here tonight. Y'all know I'm going to do it. This weekend is Veterans Day, and being a veteran myself, I want to shout out all of our military veterans. Without you guys, we would not be able to do what we do. Here's the thing. There's a lot of things in the world right now that are dividing us. There's a lot of things at home right now that are dividing us. But the one thing that allows us to have our own opinion, to have the freedom to express ourselves day in and day out is because of veterans. Whether you're Army, Navy, I'll even throw in the damn Coast Guard, or in Brad's case, the Air Force.
Count the Coast Guard. All
of them, even the lousy Space Force. But anyway.
National Guard.
I digress. Whoa, that's pushing it. I'm kidding. My cousin's National Guard. So what? Anybody that has earned the title of veteran is not a title that we hold lightly. So while you're out at the Razorback game, if you're watching the Razorback game this weekend, or if you're just out doing whatever, make sure you guys raise a glass to the veterans of the United States military. And we appreciate everything they do for all of us, me included, by the way.
I will say this is my only plug for veterans. If you aren't on VetTix for Hawg Sports and you're in the Northwest Arkansas area, you better get on there.
You're missing out. VetTix. I will plug them. If I hope to God one day we can get a sponsor from them, because
I will have to say,
and she freezes up.
Yeah.
We're all waiting with bated breath.
Pausing for dramatic effect. So
I don't want to do the Wi-Fi right now.
We got to get a Wi-Fi sponsorship for Sarah.
Right. Other than that, MC, final thought before we get out of here while Sarah's pulling her hair out over this Wi-Fi.
I do have one final thought. Tomorrow, I got to wish an early happy birthday to my oldest son, Aaron. He's going to turn 9 tomorrow. It's been a rough week. He's been at home with the flu all week, so kind of sucks being sick on your birthday. But happy birthday, Bubba! It's gonna be a good one for you.
I can only imagine what people keep seeing of me every time.
I tell you, we ought to take a screenshot of all the faces that you've
Next week it'll be better.
There you go.
Are we sure?
Maybe.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Once again, Arkansas takes on Auburn back home at Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. 3 p.m. is kickoff. I will be there. Lady Red will be there. We hope to see everybody there. It is the Veterans Day game. And basketball Friday night, Garner Webb, 7:30?
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So it's a full weekend of Arkansas sports. Don't want to miss it. I have to take a screenshot of Sarah's look right now because that is classic. That is classic. All right. That's
poor Sarah and her Wi-Fi.
Right. That's going to do it for us. For Marcus MC Carlton, for Sarah Swish Vogel, I am Razorback Zach. You have been watching an all-new episode of Inside the Hog Pen. We will see you next week.
Yeah.